Hey, my name is Russell Brunson, and I am one of the co-founders of a software company called ClickFunnels. And you may be wondering, why is ClickFunnels sponsoring and spending time and talking at EconCom? And a lot of people have asked me and said, Russell, you guys do funnels. You guys are for information products and people selling coaching and things like that, right? And I always kind of smile. Recently, we passed over 50,000 active members. And a lot of people don't know the demographics of all the different types of people who use ClickFunnels, let alone the people who are the most successful inside of ClickFunnels. And it was interesting as we look at the data, look at the markets, look at the industries. The majority of ClickFunnels members are actually selling e-commerce. We have a group inside of ClickFunnels we call the 2 Comma Club. These are people that have made at least $1 million inside of a funnel, and 1/3 of those 2 Comma Club members, which is now over 150 people, 1/3 of them are selling e-commerce. And it's interesting. People always ask me, "Well, Russell, how does e-commerce work with funnels? Like, we know about Shopify and about Amazon, and like that's how we've seen e-commerce done. Like, what's different?" And it's interesting as I look at the people who are having so much success. In fact, our number one seller right now inside of ClickFunnels has an e-com funnel. In fact, he's got the number one and the number 3 biggest funnels inside ClickFunnels right now. Both of them are e-com funnels. And what's interesting is I look at what he's done and look what the other successful people have done. They've taken the whole cart mentality, but kind of changed it a little bit. The concept of cart is kind of good, but you think about this. You think about when somebody goes and they go to a shopping cart, they come in, they see a product, and then they see another product, and start adding a bunch of things to their cart. How many times do you fill up a whole cart full of stuff, and then you go see the price, you see whatever, or when your kids comes in, or something happens, and then you leave, right? And you never finish your purchase. And there's things we can do. There's cart abandonment series and things like that. But because what happens is that you emotionally get all excited, and then you get to the last step, and it's like all of a sudden there's this huge price point, and you have to logically convince yourself, like, is it worth this huge number? Like, I didn't know that when I came in. I was expecting to buy this one thing, and it's grown. That's the power of a cart. But the problem is that at that point they're making the commitment. They have to look at the price and then make that judgment, like, is this really worth that much? And because of that, so many people lose out. The metrics I've seen, the average e-com sites conversion like between a 1.5% to a 3%, which is standard. People are like, oh, that's good, but the reality is it's not. And I look at the top e-com sellers inside of ClickFunnels. What's interesting is that they still use carts, but they flipped it around. What they do is they lead with the best product, the thing that most people are the most likely to buy, and they get that person to put their credit card in, and they make the logical decision of, am I going to spend money on this thing on the lowest price thing, right? So they bring them in like, okay, I'm going to spend X amount of dollars. I've seen it work from really low ticket things that are a couple bucks up to things are $70, $80, whatever like the best selling product is. And then after the purchase has been made, after the credit card has been submitted, then they start introducing through the funnel the other things that you would normally want in the cart. Like, hey, so you just bought this thing. Would you also like this? And then the person's like, oh, I would say yes. They click a button and boom, it builds their credit card again. Then when they like this, you build a credit card again, and you do it as many times as you need to take somebody through a cart. I call these cart funnels. And it's interesting because what we found is that the average conversion rate on the front end of a lot of these things are anywhere on the low end 5%. I've seen them up to 12%, bringing somebody in, and then a huge percentage is taking all these different upsells and downsells and cross sells and things like that. And so what happens is you get way higher conversion on the front end because the risk, the barrier, the fear of like the first sell, which is always the hardest thing, is low. It's not associated with this huge price point, and then you start adding things on, and each time you do it, they associate what they're buying with just that thing, as opposed to getting to the end and being like, oh man, I can't spend that much on the cart. And I've seen as people have taken a traditional cart and kind of tipped it outside and made a cart funnel and seen amazing success rates. It's insane. In fact, the person who I said, and I believe this person's in the summit, so you guys probably have a chance to hear from him. I don't want to spoil the surprises. But what's interesting is his funnel was the fastest, highest grossing funnel in funnel history. Not just ClickFunnels, but in the affiliate networks and everything. And it was an e-commerce funnel. And it wasn't like some like free plus shipping thing. It was a straight up sell, a $70 or $80 sell with then upsells and downsells and cross sells and warranties and all the stuff you would typically do in an e-commerce store. But they took the store model and tipped it outside. And so I believe that funnels are the future of e-commerce. I'm seeing it. I'm seeing the transition. The biggest segment of people coming into ClickFunnels, people that are Amazon sellers and Shopify sellers, people who want to take control of their own destiny, people who want to have a logical buying sequence, a buying process for their customers. and it's a pretty cool thing. So Trevor had asked me if I make this video, just kind of explain that for some of the people who are like, look, I get ecom, I love ecom, but like how does this funnel thing work, and is it worth understanding, is it worth learning? And the answer is yes. I think it's the fastest way to scale any e-commerce store, to take it from good to great, to take it from 6 figures in sales to 7, from 7 to 8, like to scale things quickly. I haven't seen many times where a traditional e-commerce store can scale really, really rapidly through paid ads. It's happened. There are people who have done it, but not like I've seen it happen consistently with funnels. And so if you have an e-commerce store, use it. Keep doing what you're doing. But now start thinking, how can I take this? How can I use these strategies and turn it into a funnel and see what happens with paid ads? See what happens when you structure it the right way. See what your average cart value, see what your conversion rates are. Like, you make these little tweaks and little changes, it can drastically and dramatically transform your business forever. So I hope this helps. Hope you guys have a chance to use ClickFunnels, try it out, and see what it can do for your e-commerce business. Thanks again. My name is Russell Brunson, and I'm one of the co-founders of ClickFunnels.com.